Thank you very much.
All right, so
so
business news on Sunrise City will be coming up next, but much later we'll also bring you updates from the National Assembly.
Morning on Sunrise Daily. I'm in John Mekwa. We'll do about 30 minutes of business before we head back to Sunrise Daily Studios. We begin with the global oil space. Oil prices rose on Wednesday on expectations that major producers will maintain production cuts at a meeting that will be holding virtually on Sunday, at the same time that a fuel consumption should begin to rise with the start of peak summer demand season. Looking at the numbers there, we see it's a green one, or it's green for both crude. For Brent, it's $84.49 a barrel after it gained 0.3%. WTI of the United States has hit $80, hovering around at 78, 79 for a bit, but now $80.18 a barrel after it gained 0.4%. At this time, increased fighting in the Gaza Strip is contributing to this, and we know that Israeli tanks advanced to the heart of Rafah section, and that also provided some backing for oil prices. Investors are also watching out for the inflation number from the United States. We know that's a major driver of prices. Of course, it affects the decision to cut interest rates or not, and then affects demand of oil at the end of the day. And from there, we'll move to that good news that we saw. Trading activity in the FX was a bit muted yesterday. A lot of attention on CBN's intervention by the central bank in the early hours of the trading season. And so we saw a lot of gains at the close of trade. The market actually closed on NAFEM, which is the major one, 1,173 Naira, 88 Kobo. It opened at, this is a whole lot of jump here. You see it gained more than 12%, 12.35%. So if you see it in number, in value now, from 339 to 173. And then on NAFEX, it went from 1481 to 379. But the big news here is always the sustenance of it. Mostly it's the first reaction after CBN intervention. But, the things deep down there that should sustain it would be a major need. And that is a major part of the conversation now, that today, especially May 29th, about this time last year, President Bola Tinubu was taking the oath of office. So it's exactly a year since he did that. But before we delve into that, agency banking community have come under fire lately. I know you've seen that from CAC, and we discussed it here a couple of times, where they have not been quiet after the Corporate Affairs Commission directed all POS agents to register with the Commission, to the accusation by the EFCC that POS operators and banks are responsible for cash scarcity and empty ATM machines, because sometimes you do wonder why the ATMs do not have cash, but the POS do have. All in a recent press conference, the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, they responded to the allegation, stating that the EFCC should publish a list of agents and bank staff sabotaging cash availability.
Is not directed towards, it does not have the ultimate aim of curbing fraud or fighting crime as the objective. That's not what they want to achieve. They just want to drive revenue, they want to make money, or even find avenues to collect taxes. So that is our position on it. So if they come for the agent bankers, the POS operators, and there is nobody to speak because people think that they are not concerned, they are not agents, eventually they will come for some other group of people. And by that time, there will be nobody to speak for them. So that is why we are calling on the rest of the Nigerian public that this is not just for the POS operators to talk about. This is not only for the POS operators. Everywhere, meaning Nigeria, should be concerned.
Since that statement actually emanated from EFCC, all of us they are looking at us as criminals. So, and we will want EFCC to quickly look at that and see how they can amend that sector. We are ready to work with them. we are ready to convert over 2 million touch points that we have in Nigeria to intelligent gathering points for all of them. So, and also, why are we having cash in agent locations? Why are we not having it in the banking system? There is no correlation between lack of cash in the banks and and availability of cash at agent location. We are happy to work with the CBN. We are happy to work with security agents to ensure that our concern about fraud and security within fintech space, we are able to nib it in the bud and reduce it to the barest minimum.
It's an ongoing conversation between the POS and CAC, and I know that another one is also the one with the BDCs, yes, the BDCs and the central bank. That's also another ongoing conversation. But today is May the 29th. It's time to take a closer look at the administration led by President Bola Tinubu. Today we're looking at infrastructure. I know that on Sunday they had a lot of feathers to their hats. That's, the members of this administration when they did that commissioning of the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, and it was done here in Lagos with the president. We also had the celebration of the commissioning, official commissioning, because the road has been in use for a while. That's the Oworoshoki Mile 2 area. You have that road that Dangote did do. But today, let's look at more about that infrastructure with the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Honey Treat Group. And he's also an economist that added to his feather. That's Mr. Samson Shoebi. He joins us in the studio. Mr. Shoebi, good morning. Thank you so much for your time. I would have told you congratulations and happy anniversary, but you're not part of the Tinubu administration, so I guess that's not for you. But how has it been in the last 1 year?
Well, I have to commend Mr. President for his bullish exposure outlay, looking at what he's done. On last year, exactly last year, 1 year ago, which was May 29, 2023, his speech on that day opened cans of activities. Part of it was the Naira flotation, the Forex flotation, and also the subsidy removal. Those were very, very strong decisions to be made on your first day in the office. And we all have seen how all of this has, been brought into realities into the country. We can see what has happened with the economy, over the last 1 year. We've seen what has happened with unemployment. We've seen what has happened with inflation. All of this, when you bring all of that into perspective, you understand that, yes, it's not looking certain yet, but we are moving gradually towards positivity. It might be dicey for a lot of people, but then it's not impossible. Yeah.
So let's look at infrastructure. Yeah. In last weekend we saw some, and we've seen the rail, attempts at the rail and all of that. But generally in that area, how has the administration fared? Okay, so
I would say Mr. President actually had a very good decision, made a good decision with his choice of minister. The former Senator David Umai was a very good choice when it comes to infrastructural development. And you've seen how he's come into the conversation with decisions about the Calabar Lagos Rail, Coastal Rail Road. He also did a lot when it comes to the rail line. They are springing up a lot of roads right at the country at the moment. If you look at how the man has been doing fantastic with developmental activities, a lot of projects, I think over 300 roads were inaugurated recently, and they also inaugurated the Calabar-Lagos road recently. So I would say infrastructure is looking up. There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of positivities. We only need to ensure that policies and implementations are done right. The challenges I've seen with Nigeria is we are very good with policy statements. We also have good plans, but when it comes to execution and implementation, we always falter. So I'm hoping it's still very dicey. We are not sure yet. It's 1 year. It's difficult to measure performance in 1 year. Honestly, I tell a couple of people, 1 year performance is majorly what you've done with policy. what your plans looks like. Are they positive? Are they going to impact positively on the people? Then by the time you go into second year, we should have started seeing a lot of implementation. Then at that point, it's easier for you to judge.
So you're saying by this time next year, we should be able to categorically say if the administration is going well or not?
Yes, definitely. There are some gains already with the policy implementation, but then we can't outrightly say that this is positive or this is negative. It takes time before policies take effect. It takes time before actions of government take effect on the generality of the people. But then, by next year, we'll be able to measure accurately. Okay, by then they will have done substantial parts of the Calabar-Lagos coastal road. We'll have seen the Ajaokuta rail line fully active. We'll have seen a lot of projects implemented and how far they've gone with it. For a country that is struggling with finance and with projects they have inaugurated recently, I think that's very, very bold.
And then Minister Umahi came with the cement initiative. Well, he didn't, it was always there, but I think he now made it compulsory that the federal government of Nigeria will deal with making roads with cement.
Yes.
You guys in the industry, how did that come across to you?
Yeah, so most of the road, I live in England, right? And I know that bulk of the HEM roads, motorways, are concrete roads because they last longer and they are more durable. You can also span them. Repair is also a lot easier, They cost slightly more, but then when you look at durability, effectively, you find out that they are cheaper in the long run. Because for bulk of that, for example, that coastal road now is very close to water. Asphalt roads are not good when you have water close by. So they are good for the north, but in the south part of the country, it's not good. So I would say those are very good decisions. Also, the concept around the roads, including adding rail line along with our roads, ensuring that the major roads are 5 lanes. Those are very, very strong outlook, And I'm hoping that, hopefully, you can see the way the market is reacting to it already, because I can see investment already springing up along that line of the country. People are already looking at how can they tap into this. It's going to affect real estate. It's going to affect tourism. It's going to affect.
But there's policy inconsistency, fear still, around the corner with investors.
Yes, I agree, 100%. But then, I'm an investor. I invest, and I look at the long term. I've known lots of brands who don't plan based on 4 years. A lot of good investors don't plan based on a 4-year term because that's very, very small to actualize anything meaningful. You look at minimum of a 10-year plan. And when you have a 10-year plan, you are looking beyond opportunities within the government. You are looking at government succession. You understand? So, and if you do that, you look at not just the immediate, you look at what are the opportunities that are available. For example, Nasarawa is doing lithium, right? Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I know. And when it comes to lithium production, you are looking at renewable energy and batteries. Yes. You are looking at how Nigeria is struggling with power at the moment. But then when we have capacity in building batteries that can be projected for renewable energy, you see that we have the capacity to, within our country, we can produce batteries that will sustain, our power generation and usage, and that can help to move forward. I know a lot of companies who don't rely on, the national grid anymore. They have their own power. Even in my own organization, we have, a lot of support when it comes to renewable energy. So all of these things are domesticated within the country, and a lot of people can take advantage. The mining sector has been doing fantastically well since the administration.
But we haven't seen, if you say they're doing fantastically well, in what aspect? What results do they have to show for that? Okay,
so I know that before now, 3 years ago, I wasn't so familiar with mining. We have people who mine illegally, who just go there and pick stuffs. And there are a lot of benefits, natural resources that are to be mined. But right now, we're seeing the government putting up a policy saying that illegal miners can come and register properly and have certification and do the needful. You heard about what happened in Oyo State, some weeks back. So such scenario have been happening in Nasarawa, in Zamfara, in Ogun State itself. You know, we have a lot of issues like that. But if you have a government that is willing to bring a lot of opportunities, create an enabling environment for people to thrive individually, there are a lot of opportunities here. We have natural resources, we have enabling weather.
The government setting out the policy is one thing, but actually following
implementing
to implement it is another one. And of course, we have been talking about enabling environments, ease of doing business, but you still have a lot of taxes springing up, and those are hindrances to doing business and all of that. So when we have the policy, it's one thing. Like for instance, when the cybersecurity levy just came up, and even the tax reform committee was not even aware of it. So these are some of the things, as we said earlier, about investors having some kind of uncertainty, even when they see opportunities to invest in the country.
I agree with you 100%. And I fault Mr. President for announcing that Forex policy and the
cybersecurity, that was the CBN.
No, the Forex policy on his inauguration.
The merging of the market of
the flotation of the Naira and also the subsidy removal. I feel that it's difficult. No government or leader can actually get the full details of his handover notes. It takes nothing less than 2 to 3 months for you to understudy it and understand what it is in there. But announcing it talks about him already understanding everything. I think he made a wrong call on his first day. I think the timing was also not good enough, because he could have just come into office, read and see what is existing, then put up a good policy. And since they started on a wrong foot, there has been policy imbalance, and it's affecting the economy. Nigeria is a very volatile economy, if you look at it, and you can see how the market has been reacting to those policies. The CBN is trying, they're struggling, but then, as of yesterday, dollar to Naira was about 1,500.
No, that's in the parallel market.
In the parallel market,
in the official market, it was 1,001 some.
Yes, but in the parallel market, a lot of people don't get access to buy from the official market. They go to the parallel market, which is the reality. But then, we saw those reactions, because when it came in, dollars was hovering less than 500, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's over 1,000. That's a huge leap. So I'm hoping that subsequently,
that's what I wanted to ask you. What should be the next few steps as we enter exactly 1 year into the administration?
Yes, so they're going to be reacting, because then governance has to continue. They will continue to react to challenges that emanate from their actions. I'm hoping they can learn through those challenges and tell Nigerians the truth. From experience, most Nigerian governments don't tell the complete truth. They tell us what we want to hear and what will make us feel better. But the actual sense is they hide a lot of facts. Now, investors need the complete truth for them to be able to invest their money. Now, the moment you see that you have anxiety or some sense of apprehension about the particular economy, you hold back. And that's what you're seeing. A lot of people are not bringing in the cash they have to supplement whatever it is the government is bringing. So I feel that government should begin to say the truth, learn from their errors, and also bring a lot of people who can actually advise the government in terms of how to tilt the policy directions, what to do, and also implementation. That's where the Civil Service Commission actually comes in. The Civil Service of Nigeria, I'm hoping the Nigerian government can agree with the labor and ensure that they have a good salary scheme for everyone, so that people will work with the whole of their heart without having to have premonitions of stealing from government. When people begin to do what they're supposed to do, you see a lot of implementation actualized. People go into government now, offices, to steal, because they believe that what they're being paid is not enough to cater for their problem, and they have to leave. So I feel if by the time they start doing that, ultimately, maybe we'll be a better society.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Group Managing Director of Onitrades Group, also an economist, Mr. Samson Shuebi. All right, now let's take a break. After that break, we will come back to see a bit of the market. The NGX is looking good for 2 days now. We'll find out the details after this break. And for the second session this week, the NGX closed in the positive. A 0.53% increase on the all-share index is what it closed with at 98,383.04. Seems the market has slipped back to the 98,000 level when we're not looking. Well, equity cap has now also gone beyond the 55.5 trillion, now at 55.65 trillion naira, after it added 298 billion naira at the close of 294 billion naira at the close of trade on Tuesday. It looks like some things are coming back there. We see a lot of attention, in the OMO, the open market operations now, and it seems not just the CBN that is using it. It seems the federal government is also using it. So using it as an instrument for two things. First of all, to increase foreign portfolio investment, that's the dollars we're looking for, and also to mop up liquidity from the economy. I know some numbers did come out this morning. I can't remember the number, but the money in circulation seems to be dropping according to the latest data. So it might be that the instrument is really working, the treasury bill and the bond for the very first 5 or 4 months, and now the government is looking at OMO as the instrument to mop up and increase FPIs. But let's settle on the NGX this morning and see what's going on there with Mr. Abdulrasheed Momo. Mr. Momo, good morning and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good morning.
So 2 days now, we see positive close at the NGX. Has this come to stay? Should we hold our breath?
Well, I always speak based on my technicals and my charts. Yesterday, there was a report. The market for the period, let's say for the period of May, the market was at the peak of about 100,000 points, and it dropped about 96,000 points. Now there's a critical resistance level I'm watching closely. At that point is 98,428.9. That level, the market has tested that level 4 times this month and has not broken that level. So as we speak now, I'm watching the market scenario. The index is now 98,456. So we have broken that level, and we need to watch if market will continue or there will be a reversal. If market breaks that level, then we are likely to go back to about 100,000 points.
But we don't know when this could happen. We can only just watch. Do we know what's driving this return of the positive sentiment back to the NGX? Because yields are still booming in the fixed income market.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the whole market scenario, it's been a huge drop. I mean, it's been a huge drop. We're looking from the period of April, the market moved from about 104,000 points to about 96,000 points. I mean, about 96,000 points plus. So, I mean, that's a huge drop. And these are areas where you see traders coming in. As well as say the market, we have investors and traders. We've seen stocks that have dropped. I mean, if you look at especially the banking sector, they've been the worst hit lately. And if you compare what they paid last year and according to, I mean, if you relate it to current market price now, you know that it's on the high side in terms of returns on dividend payout. So I feel traders are beginning to look at these areas and enter the market. It might not be for long, but I mean, it has created room for people to buy low and sell high. But what I can say that in the long term, I always look at the banking because they are the most volatile. I don't want to mention any name now, but if you look at the banking sector, as I said, they were the worst hit, and I think there's room for them to do some, at least 50% of what they lost. We're likely to see that come up, and that's what we are seeing now.
So that could serve as the most attractive.
Yeah, there's always anytime volume. They've been the one in terms of volume traded. Has always been the banking sector.
Yeah, but it does look like if you're going to invest in the banking sector, you have to be up on your toes and always, watching out, because as you noted, they're very volatile. So it may not be a very good long-term hold.
Volatility is key. Volatility is key. As I said, there are different types of players in the market. There are some stocks that are not volatile. Some stocks that, okay, let me give you an example. You see stocks like Seplat. You see that when we've seen stocks drop, those ones are more of defensive stocks. They don't move. So there are some investors that in those kind of stocks, it's a safe haven. You see stocks like Geregun. You see stocks like Transcorp Power. Those heavyweights, they don't move. But in terms of volatility, in terms of traders, because we have traders market where all they do is buy low and sell high. This is the kind of market they want. So, and the best place you can get such traction is mainly the banking sector, because there are a lot of in and outs, ups and downs happening in that sector, which is always the best for most traders.
All right, Mr. Mumba, before we let you go, what has the last 1 year been like for the stock exchange or the stock market in Nigeria, seeing that today is exactly 1 year since President Bola Tinubu was sworn into office?
Okay, what I can say is that this administration, I think from the day Mr. President announced the subsidy, the market reacted a different way. The market has been bullish. This government has been some people might not have been favored, but I really favored the stock market. The stock market got to an all-time high of about 106,000 points, which we've never experienced. Till date, the market actually started. I think the market started about 74,000 points. And since then, the market has been on the uptrend. So in terms of, we normally say the stock market is the barometer of any economy. Yeah, things might not be looking good. Perhaps for the future, if all policies on ground they are working on now can help in terms of the future. But the market has, and you can see the recapitalization of the banks coming up again, more inflow for investors, trying to get more foreign investors in. But for now, what I can say is that the market for this government has been the best so far, the highest in the history of the stock market.
All right, Mr. Momo, thank you for your observation of the market in 1 year. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
So that's it. The NGX has done hit new high within the 1 year of President Bola Tinubu. The market loves President Tinubu. Let's see what the next 1 year would look like. But there'll be an elaborate conversation on that to look at the market and their performance in the last 1 year at 1 p.m. Will Ibon will have that. Ladi Williams will also be here. That's 1 p.m. during Business Incorporated, when you will have 55 minutes of conversations around the world of business. I'm Mini John Mekwa. Let's head back to the Sunrise Daily Studio.